I know it's like typical to do like your first album self-titled, but I don't know, it just felt like it was time. Like this feels like a whole new era for me. It feels like a whole new level for me. And it really is just my 15 favorite songs that I've written since my last album. And you know, there's no like grandiose theme that I was like, oh, this album is super this mood or that idea. It just really is like 15 of my favorite songs that I've written since my last album. And I pieced those together, you know, started off with Blame It on Being Young, which is about being 16 and all the dumb stuff we used to do, to the last song on the album is called Just Like Your Mama, and that's me becoming a dad. So from 16 to becoming a dad, every song in between is a part of telling that story of my life. And so it's just like, well, this is the story of my life. This album is Russell Dickerson. We had the title, Blame It on Being Young, and I really just went back in time in my mind to like, blame what on being young? You know, like what happened when we were young? And so really just went back in time, and I was like, my memories of like that are, you know, TPing the cute girl down the street, you know, with our buddies, and stealing street signs and getting brought home by the cops and all that stuff. And so just like going back to those memories and stories, it was such a fun song to write. I'm like, oh wow, no, we really did do that. Like we really did jump off a roof into swimming pools and stuff like that. And so really is kind of autobiographical in that way of all the dumb stuff I used to do. So just digging back and piecing all those memories into this song called Blame It on Being Young, and it's like turned out to be probably my favorite song on the album and one of my favorite songs I've ever written. It's one of those songs like, wait, did I really write that? Like, is this my song for real? I got brought home by the cops a handful of times, just TPing people's houses and riding around after curfew in this like super loud like 77 Mustang that our friend had, you know, like, cause we're 15, 16 years old, and it was like, I don't know if y'all had curfew, but like we were just like ripping around Franklin, and the cops they're like, yeah, there's some youngins we can catch. Sometimes like even the tipping over the trash cans in the neighborhood, like, I mean, I literally was in the back of a cop car, got brought home from the cops. Luckily I never got like taken to jail, because they knew we were just like stupid kids. And that's what, like, again, like good kids up to no good. Like they knew we weren't criminals. We were just idiots having fun tipping over trash cans. So dumb. So that was with Casey Brown and Lori McKenna. It's my first time writing with Lori, so I was like super nervous. I was at Casey's house and she was on Zoom, and I knew that I had to show up that day. Like I had to bring the heat. I think we were just talking about what's going on and with life, and you know, I had just kind of become a dad recently within the last year or so. And you know, I mean, Lori I feel like she just like pulls songs out of you. You know, like she asks the right questions and knows the right conversations to have to get you to open up and dig deeper. And I think we were just talking about being a dad and all this stuff, and I don't know if somebody had the title already, Just Like Your Mama, but I just remember having this conversation with Lori that just like pulled this song out of me. And once I got in that headspace, I just kind of started playing acoustic, like the riff that you hear, and rattling off all the things that I, you know, hope that Remington gets from his mom. He was probably not even one. So new fatherhood, and just kind of this place of like, dear God, like I hope he grows up to be, you know, an upstanding gentleman, and is wise and is deep and as incredible as his mama is. So that's kind of the basis of that song. Yeah, I mean, there's the always get your way with those blue eyes, because he gets his blue eyes from his mom. And it's just, and then at the very end of the song, it's like, I can already see you're better than my wildest dreams, just like your mama. And it's like, becoming a dad is like the best, that everybody says it's the best thing in the world, and they grow up so fast, and it's true. Like here we are, he's 2, he just turned 2, and it's just like, it's flying by, but it's the most incredible journey. Like he's my best friend. Like I look forward to when he wakes up, and look forward to when I can get home and just hold him and hug him and wrestle with him and all that. I feel like I've gotten a lot more efficient in songwriting, you know, because it's like, usually it's like, you get there, you got all day, no pressure. I mean, not that there's pressure with being a dad, but it's like, all right, if I'm gonna be out of the house, I'm gonna be away from my family, like we say, make it count. Like everything we do that separates us, we gotta make it count, you know? Every flight, every show, every tour, all that stuff is like, if we're gonna be apart, make it count. So yeah, it's like, it has made me way more intentional with every co-write, every interview, every phone call, every flight and show and tour, and made me a lot more intentional. I think he could have totally taken the song for himself, but we went into it writing for me. But as the song went on, I was like, why wouldn't we put this out together? Like my fans plus your fans, like that's a bigger number than just my fans, you know? So in the room where like Josh Kerr just picks up a guitar and he's like, boom, down, 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 down. And I was like, yes, that's it. That's the chorus melody, that's the hook, that's everything. And so he laid that down, and then we literally just like, it's like kind of the same thing. Like I feel like this is a newer technique for me in songwriting, is like just rattling off all these like specific memories, like with Blame It On Being Young, with Just Like Your Mama, with She Likes It. Like, what does she like when I do? Like, oh, she loves when I wear a suit, like loves when we dress up a little bit, and like loves when I bring home flowers from the grocery, even if it's like the little cheap $5 flowers. Like, you know, she knows I'm thinking of her. And just started going down that list, and then verse 2 are like, dude, what does Rachel like? Like, what does your wife dig? And he's like, oh, dude, when I make reservations, like plan a date night for us, it's like, boom, like she loves that. And so we're like, boom, leave a note, make us reservations, and just started kind of building each individual story. And then chorus hits, fat 808s, and I think this song has done so well just because it's different. Like it's not your most country format song, you know what I mean? But it's a bluesy guitar riff and vocals and like 808s and like minutes. Like there's probably like 8 tracks on this song, you know, when a normal song on the radio has like 100. So this super minimal thing, I feel like is just like tingly for your ear. It's like, wow, this is different. This is like, oh, I know, like it's the bass and the vocal and the drum, like that's pretty much it, and the guitar. Yeah, that's just kind of how it, when we were like fully producing the song, I was like, dude, don't add anything. Don't try to make this a big drum kit or like big electric guitars. Like it's just so like, you can feel each texture in the track, and it's just like, I don't know, I feel like that's why it's done so well. It's just so simple. I admire him not just because of the legend and the songwriter he is, but like he was kind of genre bending as well, you know, like when he won some ACMs, I feel like people were like, what? Like, what is this, you know? And I don't know, I feel like that's awesome that he just like wasn't defined by a specific genre. And he just like, John Denver just did John Denver. I'm just trying to do Russell Dickerson, you know, regardless of what boundaries may be in place. Like that's why I think this album is self-titled, coming back to that question of just like, it's just me. Like I love redneck country songs like Big Wheels and All the Same Friends. Like that's me. But also like, I love my wife, and I feel like I'm a tender guy too, and like God gave me a girl, and also obviously like to turn up, get a little excited and rage a little bit with like Sorry and She's Why, and I don't know, it's just like there's so many facets to who I am. Like I feel like I tapped into just about every facet of my personality with this, and then hence it being self-titled. But yeah, to the John Denver question, I feel like he just did him. Like he wrote Thank God I'm a Country Boy, and then he also wrote Annie's song. You know what I mean? Like those are two very drastic genres even, but it's still John Denver. And I feel that way. She never rocks out. Like in the kitchen when she's cooking, it's just like no music. We get home and she's like, open the door, she's cooking and she's like jamming John Denver on the speakers, like Country Roads and Aspen Glow and all that stuff. And I was like, no, this isn't real life. And they were both with Josh and Jake were both with me. We came up to the house and I was like, boys, are you hearing this? And she's like, what? And I'm like, babe, you're not gonna believe this. Like, we literally just wrote a song about you jamming out to John Denver. And we walk in the door and there she is just jamming to John Denver. Well, I mean, just like your mama with being a dad, that's a huge part of my life. But there is kind of this nostalgic thread throughout the album that I feel like I just had with 2020 and 2021, like with how we were able to kind of be home more and relax and recuperate from touring. Like I had the brain power to go deeper and go dig back into those memories and dig back into those stories. Like I said, with Blame It On Being Young, and 18, which is another kind of nostalgic song, is like, I wish that we could have gone back to when we were 18. Like I met my wife when we were 20, 21, 22, but I was like, what if we had a couple extra years, you know? Like I would take all that I can get to, you know, to spend as much of forever with you as I can. And so that's a song title right there. But yeah, just having the brain power to dig back into those more nostalgic vibes. My wife and I, when we broke up in college, I hadn't written a song about that yet. And so when that idea came about, I was like I Wonder was kind of the title, or Wonder Years. And like it started like, oh, did I just mess up? Did I leave behind the love of my life? And I was like, well, I kind of got a story like that. And so I kind of went back in time and went back to, you know, her apartment, her front door, where I literally broke up with her and drove away, and just went back and autobiographically really told that story of like the tension in my mind of like, dude, no, you definitely did the right thing. Like, dude, no, you're an idiot. What are you doing? Like, no, dude, you definitely did that. Just the back and forth in my mind that was going on. And that's like the tension that even in the instrumentation is this like weird, just back and forth tension in the song. And yeah, like again, just having the brain space to really relive the emotional capacity too, to relive that breakup and that story. I think she was proud of me, honestly, for digging deep and going back to reliving that pain. You know, I'm a pain avoider at all costs, but no, she was like, I'm proud of you for doing that. And you know, she loves the song too. The first song I ever wrote was 0 to 60. It was on my very first EP, and I feel like I contributed 0 to that song. I was just like, oh, yeah, that sounds cool. And then like I sang it. But I've really gotten comfortable with just, honestly, just, especially for an artist, because I have to tell my story and I have to guide the right. I have to lead the right every time I'm in the room, because you know, they're here to help me write the best song possible for me, for my album. And I've really had to step up in that role of like leading the right, you know, even if it's with Ashley Gorley, who has 7,000 number ones. They're like, no, dude, actually, I wouldn't really say it like that. Or, you know what I mean? Like being confident in my artistry and my story and what would Russell Dickerson say. And I have to fight for that and stand up for that. And even in like with some of my go-to co-writer, like my other people that I write with a lot, is like, well, you know, like country's kind of really country right now. And I'm like, I don't care. Like, I'm gonna do Russell Dickerson. Like, I have to keep being me, like regardless of who's huge and who's doing that. And so I feel like I've evolved in that way of just being completely confident in me and who I am and what I want to say. I think it's just a year after year and song after song of just picking up like, that really worked in this right when I did this. Or honestly, from Gorley, it's just like, just keep doing something, keep singing something, keep spitting out words. Like I love going back and listening to like work tapes, like half-done songs to where it's like you're just kind of spitting out words, and that's where really like I think the best songs come out. Instead of trying to piece together this perfectly crafted thing, it's like just the raw realness of like it was like with Blame It on Being Young. I was just like, it's like, what did we used to do back in the day? Like we TP'd people all the time. It was like, we used to TP all the girls we had crushes on. And I was like, okay. And like, use the fake ID to buy what we were sipping on. And just building a song off of just freestyling and like getting a picture, a memory in your mind and just singing something. Just like keeping it going. And like, you're not gonna sing the song straight down. It's gonna take a while, but I think I've learned to just like keep going, keep just spitting out anything. Somebody will be singing something over here and just like they keep going like, oh yeah, take that, do that. It's really just kind of like a math equation that I'll put it all together. Yeah, I mean, that's just is like the foundation, I think, of my life really is like with all the different stuff going on in the world, it's like I think this is a super grounding song of like the good old country beliefs, like even to the fact of like the best beer is cold, the best friends are old, and that was just kind of a kind of checklist for me, like what do I still believe in? And from a songwriting standpoint, this was a fun one too, of like Zach Crowell pulled up the track. That was because this was one that kind of started with the kind of anthemic, the 4 on the floor vibe, and you know I was like, all right, this definitely feels like an epic like chorus of an anthem of whoa, whoa, whoas or nah, nah, nahs or something in there. And we kept trying to like, again, fabricate this super anthemic chorus. And after like 2 hours of like trying every whoa melody in the book, I just picked up a guitar. I was like, maybe it's just like lyrics of like, the best beer is cold, the best friends are old, best songs go whoa, oh. And I just like spit those 3 lines out and we were like, oh heck yeah, let's go. And then it just like we just built it from there and really turned out, that is one of my faves too. Because big, up tempo, can't wait to play the song live. Taking a risk and just spitballing anything, like just spit something out and see what happens. And for 2 hours it was garbage, but then he kept pushing and then just like that moment of like best beer is cold, the best friends are old, best songs go well, and it's just like boom. Every little thing. Just sitting in the room. We were at Casey's studio, and Casey Brown, who we wrote it with, and I don't even know if he had anything playing in the room, but I was just like whistling that melody, and he was like, yes! And so like recorded the whistle, he played the same riff on the banjo, and then like started just building like this massive track from there. And then, big 1975 fan, Avi. And so I took the guitar and I was like, and it's like building that kind of like swingy, 1975-y feeling thing. And I was just singing, the melody kept coming to me. Every little, Parker, who like brilliant lyricist, was just start like building the verses out line by line, and it was just heat. My baby, she's Alabama, Dixieland Delight, Molasses, Slow and Sweet. Like it was just like, it was awesome. And yeah, the chorus came out in like 15 minutes. Love every little thing about your love, just a little ain't enough. Gotta get more of what she does. It was just like boom, boom, boom. And that was one when I think I called my manager afterwards and I was like, dude, we got a heater today. And that's just the one, like, you know those ones when you like are excited to tell somebody about it. And if you're not, it's like, oh yeah, maybe better luck next time. But that one I was like, dude, this one is a slammer. I would put on the new album, I would put every 15 song out to radio right now. You know what I mean? Like I wish I could, but yeah, it's so hard to like pick. You know, we had yours, we had Blue Tacoma, which is like kind of ballad, mid, up tempo, and then it was like, dude, we need to come with a heater. I was like, every little thing, no question. I'm glad it was, because it's again, one of those songs that just like doesn't sound like anything else. And I remember Casey and Parker would tell me like, artists would come write with them and they were like, dude, we gotta write something like Every Little Thing. Like, we gotta get something like that. And I'm like, and they're like, you can't just like do that, you know? Like so I don't know. I feel like that makes me happy that people would try to like emulate Every Little Thing like that. That one just started with the title and, you know, I was that, you know, like I was depressed, I was this, I was that, but now I'm yours. Like that was a super simple idea. Brought that in, and I mean, we rewrote like probably 5 different verses at least, little, you know, the boat visual and the roulette visual, and like we had like 6 different pieces like of this puzzle that we were trying to put together. And yeah, that was another one, like when you, like the songs that you just like don't want to stop listening to. Like I didn't want to leave the room that day. You know what I mean? Like that was one of those songs and I just knew it. I didn't have a hit yet. I didn't have any hits. I just knew that this song was the one. And like, I didn't want to leave that writing room. When we made the demo, just me and Casey at his like crappy old duplex studio, his spare bedroom, like that's where we made the demo. And like, we both just like kept playing it over and over, like knowing that this song was going to be the one. But I mean, is it though? You know, like in the moment you're like, yeah, of course. Like I want every song to be, I want She Likes It to be the biggest song I ever had. Is it going to be? I don't know. But you know, you have to have that faith as an artist and a writer. Even with this song, I couldn't get a record deal. Like I took it around every label passed, did showcases, did everything. And nobody would sign me, even with this song. And so we're like, well, I mean, I don't know what else to do, but like just record some kind of video and put it on YouTube. This was like right around like YouTube and streaming popping off. And yeah, my wife and I went out to this back road and literally just shot a video. I don't even know how to put it better, but just like God showed up. Like in this video is like a lightning storm behind me that's just like, and it starts pouring down rain, thunderstorm. Our friends are calling us like, hey, can we come take shelter in your basement? And we're like, dude, stop calling, dude, we're shooting a video, like in the middle of a tornado warning. But it turned out like to be the video that jump-started my career. Because like, put that on YouTube, took it into XM, they saw the video, they caught the vision. And the video honestly is what got me the record deal too. Like the head of my label was like, when I saw the video, I got it. And I was just like, perfect, you know, let's go. And that was just this whole journey of like having a triple platinum 2-week #1 song, right? That I couldn't get a record deal. But now on the other side, hindsight 2020 for them, here we are on the other end of it with like, I mean, the biggest song of my career. I mean, every day. We had interviews yesterday at Aldean's bar, so we'd like back in the back of there, and coming out through the main area, like got stopped by this couple who were like, we just got married, yours was our first dance, we love you. And like, it's just, I don't know, we didn't go into writing this song like, all right, let's write a wedding song, you know, like those are really pulling the heartstrings. I just telling my story, and I think that will resonate with millions more people than me trying to come up with like this perfect first dance lovey-dovey song. It's like, I don't know, I feel like a lot of guys have come up to me too, like, dude, that's exactly what I've been trying to say. Like, thank you. That's what I've been trying to say. And so, yeah, I don't know. It's just been amazing to see this song go from, you know, a little crappy duplex bedroom to the world. Here Comes Love You Like I Used To, but right behind it, and that was like the longest running top 10 in country radio history. And it's just like, well, dang, okay. It's just like, I mean, if I'm the country love song guy, great, I love that, amazing. So yeah, I don't know, it's just like, there is that pressure, but I work, pressure keeps me going, keeps me motivated to be better, to beat everything we've ever done, and keep pushing and keep going. Coming back to album 3, it's like there's so many different facets of who I am that are captured in this album. Like, I mean, I always come back to Blame It on Being Young, but like that's like a very kind of songwritery, but also like I feel like I sang better and harder, like, and poured my heart into this vocal specifically than I have on any other song I've recorded. The good outweighs the bad 100 to 1. Like, yeah, he's opinionated now and will sprawl out in the floor, but like, he also runs up to me and is like, "Hi, Dad, I love you." And I'm like, you know, like that outweighs the tantrums 100 to 1. And it's so fun to like, I mean, he just like sings songs 24/7 and Wheels on the Bus and Old MacDonald and gets all the words wrong. And it's just like, it's the most adorable thing in the world. And he's just a sweetheart. He's just a big old sweetheart. He's giant. He's like a gentle giant. It's amazing. I still don't feel like I've made it. Like, yeah, we've done great, had a lot of success and stuff. I don't know, I feel like I have like massive dreams that are just like, we're barely scratching the surface. But there are those moments where I do have to step back and like, you know, with She Likes It, that's like our 5th platinum song. And like, just to, and not that it's about plaques and awards and everything, but like, that's crazy. Like, to come from, again, shooting a music video on a back road with a, you know, a normal camera with my wife, and now here we are with that song. And there are moments where like, yeah, we've made it a little bit. We're doing good, got a house, got a, you know, a baby and 2 tour buses and a tractor trailer. Those are proud moments, especially like road accomplishments, because I love the live, like that's where my head is all the time. And you know, when we look out to a crowd of, I don't know, this summer 5,000 to 6,000 people, I'm like, there we go. Here we go, we're getting there, we're rolling. And then to go overseas, we just got back from Europe a couple weeks ago and that tour was completely sold out. I'm like, where did you come from? Like, how do you know this music? And it's just like in Belfast, Ireland, and I don't know, just like all these places we've never been before. And it's like, yeah, sold out show. Like, what the heck is happening? So those moments are kind of surreal of like, yeah, we're getting there. We're getting there. That's what it is. We're getting there. I think Google says that I'm 5'4", and I'm like, people are gonna be a rude awakening when they meet me in real life, you know? And I mean, everybody says that in meet and greet, like, oh my God, like I didn't know you were this tall. I was like, it's probably because Google got it completely wrong. We need to fix that. It's called Carols with Carol. My mom, she's like the most incredible piano player. Like, you put a piece of music in front of her, you can put Mozart, anything, like, and she just like slays it. So we always do Carols with Carol every year, and she just sits down, no music at all, and we're just like spitting out like, all right, Jingle Bells. Oh, and she just like, and it is the most, we put the lyrics up on the TV, everybody's, you know, got a glass of wine or whatever, and we're all just like singing at the top of our, like, it's a thing, like nobody's too cool for Carols with Carol, you know what I mean? Like, we go hard, like at the top of our lungs, screaming these Christmas carols, and then we do 12 Days of Christmas, everybody's got their own designated number, you know? I'm 2 turtle doves. My Italian uncle is 4 calling Boyds, and yeah, so it's a blast. Like, that's one of my favorite Christmas memories. It started with my granddad, my mom's dad. He went to a retirement home, and so like, cause they always hosted Christmas, and so we were like, well, we gotta go to him now, and we rented out the whole party space and brought food in and did the gifts and everything, but at the end, we put on a whole like concert for everybody in the home. Mom was on the piano, crushing it. Dad would kind of lead the choir, and that was where Carols with Carol kind of originated, was doing this show for my granddad's retirement home friends, and we just carried on the tradition.